Good evening and welcome to another edition here of the Championship Review. I'm Carl Edwards Levy as your host, as usual. Got some games that we will discuss later during this next hour and a half or so, including Millwall going away to Sheffield United, Friday's game between Derby against Bristol City. Two other teams are still winless at the moment, still looking for their first win. Wrexham against Sheffield Wednesday, and then Coventry against QPR, and Charlton at home to Leicester, and where Ipswich go away to Preston. Joining me is the usual co-host I got tonight. Give you to Michael and to Annie. How are you both doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
If I pretend that the Burnley-Sunderland game didn't exist yesterday, yes, I'm doing all right.
That's what I wanted to hear. Listen.
I mean, I know you guys got beat comfortably, but at least it was off Arsenal and not bloody Burnley. No disrespect to Dan, of course, but yeah, when you lose to
Dan's on his off a friggin' holiday, so...
good for him. At least he's enjoying himself.
Well, it's his birthday today as well, so...
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But you know what? It is what it is. I think I was just disappointed that we lost to a team that I felt we needed to get something off, but... yeah, maybe it's just the fact it was their first home game. I have no idea. But either way, I'm sure Annie's ramblings about Bristol City will cheer me up tonight.
Well, yeah, we usually, as we would do our order, when it's our teams, we always leave till last, don't we, guys? Turns out we had...
No, if Andy Harris has his way, it won't be the case.
Well, we had a request from Annie when I asked him, do you want to go first or go last? I thought he would have gone last, but no, we'll get this team out the way. So let's start off with Friday night's game at Pride Park. Derby got a 1-1 draw against Bristol City after Carlton Morris headed it in the 86th minute, just 4 minutes before injury time. But Bristol City took the lead through Scott Twine in the 35th minute, and they had a late good chance to win it. Bristol City with Scott Twine free kick just was saved as well. Annie, let's get this one out of the way. I know you want to get this out of the way. Give me your reaction, please. I'm going to let you have the floor, okay?
Yeah, so...
Get your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, so, well, I wouldn't go that far. We've not lost the game yet. I'm not in full
crisis. You say that, but it's the way you reacted, it's like you lost the game.
I did feel like that, though.
I mean, in his defence, if it's an 86th-minute equaliser, they got to be pretty fuming as well.
It does feel like that. And the fact that we played a Derby side who, on the night, were really poor, and you come into the game knowing they've got 11 players out injured. Like... and I looked at those 11 players. It's not just any 11 players. Like these are players who could easily start for Derby, and they're all out injured. Like imagine 11 players that could get into your starting 11, and it would be like, yeah, that would be fair, and they're not available. Like that, it was a.
I can't imagine that's happened to us before.
Like I'm not being funny, and I'm not being disrespectful. It's a terrible Derby team. Like the squad depth it's been stretched, and we didn't. And they've conceded 8 goals in the first 2 games, and we barely laid a glove on them. We created I'd say a couple of big chances from open play. We got in behind a few times, but that was it. That was it, and that was all we had to offer in an attacking sense. And okay, defensively, yeah, we were pretty untested, and to be honest, we probably didn't deserve to concede a goal. And Derby probably had one big chance, and they took it, and it was a bit of a jammy goal. But yeah, when you're playing a team that is so seriously disadvantaged, and you just sit passively in the second half like we did, it is just infuriating to watch. Like you can see what's about to happen. Like you can see it, you know what's coming, and we just don't change anything. Like don't do anything to fix it. Don't be proactive, and just sit there sort of waiting for the inevitable. And I said after the game, it almost felt like we were sitting ducks waiting for something to happen. And that's exactly what my sentiments are now. I mean, we just looked lethargic second half. And I said this after Charlton, didn't I? If you can remember, where in the second half, we just went direct. It wasn't working. Charlton were getting control of the game. We did the exact same thing in the second half at Derby. Yeah, okay, Derby didn't have complete control of the game. We looked pretty defensively solid, but we just didn't have anything going forward, like at all. There were moments, there were flashes. Mehmeti got in down the left-hand side once, put a good ball in. No, it wasn't. It was someone else. Got the ball in down the left-hand side. put it across face goal, and that's all I can remember seeing. Claire Armstrong had a pop shot, a weak shot straight at Zetterstrom. There was nothing going forward, and this is a team that scored 4 goals away at Sheffield United on opening day. They were so clinical. They were so good on transition, and now whenever we have to build out from the back, it's direct. It's a mix. It's a mix, which is normally a good thing. It's mixed build up. It's sort of unpredictable in a way, but whatever we do, it doesn't seem to be working in an attacking sense. And the goal we scored, I thought it was a good goal. I thought it was a really good goal actually, because Anis Mehmeti makes a really good run from the left hand side all the way around to the right hand side, even past Scott Twine. It leaves the space for Twine, who has like he gets the ball, and I'm going, how the hell's he got that much space? It's not an accident. Mehmeti's created that space for him, and it's a good finish. But you'd expect him to finish that, and then fast asleep for their goal. And if that game ends on 85 minutes, I'm going 1-0. Right, we have not played well. We've probably got away with one here because we have just sat there and not really done anything for 45 minutes and got away with a 1-0 win. But in hindsight, and yeah, the narrative has changed because of one moment, but that's football for you. Sorry, that's football for you, and we cocked it up like big time, and that should have been a game. And again, I don't mean this with any disrespect. You can ask most Derby fans; they'd have probably said, "Yeah, probably expecting a defeat tonight because of the injuries they have, because of the fact that John Eustace has got little to nothing to choose from. Like he's had to pick the same back line that is where 2 of the wing backs are not fit to start. They were gassed out after 60 minutes against Coventry, and 3 of the centre backs conceded 5 goals against Coventry. And John Eustace, if he had his way, would not pick probably any of them to start the next game, but he has to. So this is a Derby side lacking quality, starting 11 that lacked in quality, and we just didn't take advantage, and that's really frustrating. And yeah, I'm not hitting panic stations or anything because we've not lost a game. But yeah, it's just tiny little things that I think need to improve. And hopefully, after Hull, or going into Hull, we can finish this little block of games going into this international break. And obviously the Carabao Cup game against Fulham as well, but that's more of a free hit. We can finish on a high at Ashton Gate, where we can hopefully impose ourselves a little bit more and get ourselves a little bit more control and see what we saw against Sheffield United a little bit more. But yeah, a really disappointing couple of games, I'd say. Yeah, Charlton was a bit more of, okay, they played well, they set up well, and they sort of nullified us. But on Friday night, it felt like we shot ourselves in the foot, like big time. That should have been a game we should have won. And if we want to be, emulating the same sort of success of last season, you've got to be winning games like that when you've got an advantageous position. Because when we play Derby next time later in the season, they'll not be the same Derby team at all. They'll be a much stronger team, and if we play like that, we'll probably get beat. So yeah, we've got to start playing better, and we've got to start being a little bit more consistent in our performance levels, and we've got to start being a little bit more consistent sort of all over the pitch.
Yeah, well, thanks for your view on Friday's game, and Michael, as I said, do you think Bristol City fans need to worry about the slow start?
Well, if you look at it on paper in terms of points, I wouldn't call it personally a slow start. It just feels that way because of the manner in which Derby scored. Because if you look at it, if you'd said it's like if you asked any Bristol City fan, what was it, 5 points from your opening 3 games, bearing in mind, and at the time we didn't know how poorly Sheffield United were going to start. One of the trips would have been away at the playoff finalists of last season. And I imagine more of them would have probably gone yes. But obviously the caveat would have been Charlton at home, Derby away with all the injuries. So should Bristol City fans be worried? Not at the moment. I mean, I guess it depends, because obviously I know Annie's not been totally convinced by the performances. So I think if that does continue, then obviously it's fair enough to ask those questions. I suppose if you look at it from a Derby point of view, I mean, it was obviously important for them to get off the mark and get something. And obviously, is that Carlton Morris's 3rd goal in 3 games?
Yeah,
it is for Derby. And to be fair, he's one of the signings I don't think gets enough credit for Derby. I actually really rate that signing of Carlton Morris. I think he's a really, really good forward at Championship level. So, and I was flicking back and forth between the West Ham Chelsea game and the Derby Bristol City game, and I think Bristol City were comfortable enough without being brilliant, but I think you didn't have to be. I think Derby didn't really do all that much, and it was just one where it was just like one moment pretty much at the end. So I wouldn't go as far as concerned. There is still a week left in the window, but it depends if, and Annie can correct me if I'm wrong here, if there's going to be much going on in the way of incomings at Bristol City, if there's going to be any leeway to improve at certain positions or not. So I guess you'll have a better idea in a week's time or 9 days' time, whenever the hell the window shuts. What obviously for everyone, what state the squad's going to be in. So I think to provide balance for the Derby point of view, it was important, I think, to sort of maintain, to try and get some results while they have pretty much a full 11 out injured or whatever it is, and I can relate to that as we've had that before. But yeah, but I don't know. I think for Derby, it's obviously a better point for Derby than Bristol City, isn't it? When you're 1-0 up and you get to the 86th minute and then you concede, it's always going to feel like 2 points dropped, isn't it? So, but it's weird because you think back a couple of weeks ago, like I imagine Bristol City fans would be on the biggest high they've been for some time when they beat Sheffield United away 4-1, which obviously on the day Sheffield United played well the first half, but you can't knock that result. But then obviously you've had back-to-back draws at home, Charlton, and as I'm sure Leicester found out yesterday, Charlton away I expect to be quite a difficult game. I think Charlton at home, even if they have been promoted, you would have hoped for a bit more. So, and then obviously Derby with the injuries, the concerns that are there at the moment. So we'll wait and see. And I think we've got our favourite shithouse in the chat back.
Yes,
Mr. Ant Howard. I wonder.
Yeah, we do. Listen, we'll get to the message. We'll get to the chat now. Actually, good evening, Doug.
Good evening, Doug.
Well.
Mate.
I know he's previewing the match view ahead of tomorrow's game between Newcastle against Liverpool.
Please, Liverpool, please win.
Yeah, I hope so as well too. Actually, yeah. And Bruno Fernandes' penalties be found in the Thames. My God, if you saw that, I think the referee knew what he did by distracting Fernandes and it just boot.
I didn't actually watch it. Was this in the first half of today's game?
Yeah.
I was out walking the dogs actually, so I didn't see any of it. But yeah, wow. I think so. He's not Bruno Fernandes anymore, then, is he not?
Not in the moment. No, not really. So
yeah. I didn't make that joke, Annie. It's old as time, that one. It's old as time, that pun.
So bad. So bad.
Funny how Ant's mood completely changed in a week.
I know.
Funny what football does to you.
I know. Also, can't wait for Friday. I get to boo a movie, not just the Demarai Gray. Yeah.
Where's the seagull meme when you need it?
I know.
Effing boo.
I mean it. Shit.
Oh, Doug's comments got me there.
Yeah, I see it. I
mean, with the utmost respect, Derby, shit.
I'll come back to Doug's question for all of us shortly in a second as well. Yeah.
Ipswich losing to Preston Small Club.
Even Michael as well. Do you know what? Michael was asking you yesterday where you were. Like, I said to you, you was in Burnley. So I said he's not going to come on. He's aware that you were down to Burnley yesterday. So
yeah, that was when the day was all right at that point.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Actually, fair. The day out was pretty good. The football wasn't very good, but yeah, it's one of those where you can have a nice away day without the result affecting it as much. He lost to Preston 2 hands.
But easy response.
Nope, we just graced Preston with our presence. Oh my God, I love it.
1-0 and you fucked it up. Yeah. Charlton, easy 3 points. No, Michael, he's been renamed Miss Penalty. Yeah. Right, we'll come to one of the two questions. We'll come to Michael's shortly. Let's go to Doug's question. He asks all of us, are you guys surprised by Sheffield United and Ipswich Town's slow start?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
Very surprised. Especially Ipswich.
I'm not surprised by United's slow start. I am surprised. No. I'm not surprised by either, actually. I'll take that back. I'm not really surprised. I'll go full 180 on Michael. I'm not surprised by either. I think Ipswich's midfield is honking at the moment. It's terrible. They've got no balance, and I think that's a major reason why they've started pretty slowly. And Sheffield United, I thought under Sellers would take a bit of time to get going, and with the fact they haven't haven't completed their business, like they've still got quite a few signings I'm sure they'd like to make. Yeah, I'm not really surprised by either completely. But yeah, I'm surprised to the extent at which Sheffield United started badly. Put it that way.
Yeah, I agree as well. Michael's also asking, what is the situation at Leicester City and Sheffield Wednesday? Obviously, are they not going to be dot points in the when Leicester City situation PSI infringements and Sheffield Wednesday's failure to pay monthly salaries? It's a hard question. We don't know. We're in it onto the unknowns, and that will probably message in and have his say on it. We don't know. No, it's been quiet. For what I was speaking with, Ant was on the last couple of shows. He did say there's likely not going to be a points deduction. We don't, but so no one knows what at the moment is. So, yeah, Michael, there is a question for you. I know you're going to say no to this one. Is that have you heard about Jack Clark's being literally back to Sunderland? Not always. Well, it's just poor form. I just don't see him going back to Sunderland.
No, I mean, if you ask him would I take him, and not in the Premier League, I wouldn't know. I think it's and this is coming from a very big Jack Clark fan. I was gutted when he left us. In fact, I think it was around about a year ago. Come to think of it, around about now that he ended up leaving us. I think it was a couple of days before we played Burnley at home. Actually, funnily enough. But yeah, I mean, I think I'd be very surprised if that ended up happening. I mean, the only way I could see it taking place really is if we got him for £15 million a run. If we basically got if Ipswich got back what they paid for him, is the only way I could maybe see that happening, and then any sort of sell on gets wiped off. But I think Ant is right in what he said. Funny enough, I was just mentioning that hasn't proved anything to show he's a Premier League player. No, I agree with that. I think my caveat would be I think McKenna apparently has used him horribly and has really mismanaged him, and I think that's a big factor that I'm quite baffled by. If I'm totally honest, I do not get why McKenna is not playing him in his actual position, because he played yesterday at Preston on the right of the attacking three behind the striker, which I just don't understand. I don't understand why you're trying to shoehorn Jack Clark in on sort of the left hand side, when clearly, if you look at his form with Sunderland, it was pretty much predominantly on the left, take people on. He was one of the best wingers in the league by a mile when he was with us. So, but if you ask him, I don't know. Have I heard? I don't know where. If you could tell us, Michael, where the link is, I might have a look at it. But that's the first I've heard of it. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Can I just add? I agree with Michael, and I remember he started at Birmingham on the opening day on the right hand side, and I was like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
And then against Southampton, because I think of an injury, he had to move to the left hand side, and I saw a load of Ipswich fans going, "Oh, Jack Clark on the left, that's not where we want him. That's not where McKenna wants to play him, and we don't want him there."
Position.
And I'm like, this guy was ripping the Championship apart, playing on the left hand side, like.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Jack Clark's trademark move is hit 1, 2, 3, cutting on his right foot and bend it into the corner.
Yeah.
You can't do that on the right hand side. So
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at Sheffield Wednesday away as an example, I mean, I know at the time they were really, I mean, they're not much better now, but at the time then they were especially poor. It was not long before Danny Roll came in. I think it was Zisco Munez, I think it was, who was then head coach at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, granted that maybe isn't the best benchmark, but the best way to put it is, like, Jack Clark just rinsed them apart that night. Like, completely rinsed them apart. That's the best example I can think of his individual performances. The only way I could maybe possibly understand signing Clark, and I don't think Sunderland would think this way, or I'd like to hope they wouldn't, is they have one eye on being in the Championship next season. And I think then if we are back in the Championship next year, then I think Clark would be a really handy player to have, especially if, say, the likes of Simon Adingra move on. But yeah, I'd be surprised if we got him back, to be honest.
Yeah. It will be interesting, part of that development in the course of the show as well. McKenna is going to be the new Rob Edwards. Really good job getting the team unexpectedly, then getting double relegated. But at least he'll look fantastic whilst doing it.
Well, I said there was no chance. If you told me a year ago Luton would go down, I said there'd be absolutely no chance. So can't rule anything out, can you?
No.
I think what we're trying to decide. I think what we can interpret from that is Ant thinks that Kieran McKenna is a very handsome man. I think that's what we're.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Good for Ant. Good for Ant if he swings that way. To be fair,
I think after Rob Edwards, I think after Rob Edwards, it's a bit of a free open goal. Why not?
Well,
Whoever
absolutely.
wants it.
I mean, to be fair, like I said, if Ant swings that way, then good for him. I mean,
He actually does. He actually does agree with you. Actually,
he is doing it. Well, and there you go. We're a very inclusive society on this channel, and we're we're going towards a more inclusive society. So good on you, Ant. I feel proud of you that you felt that you felt able to come out and and reveal your sexuality to us.
Have you seen those ridiculous? What's it? You've just been, on football Twitter. Bradford started it with "You've just been pecked by the chickens." You know that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Middlesbrough have done the "You've been whatever" by handsome Rob's Reds, and I just found that hilarious.
That's right. You could probably. Do you want to talk about Middlesbrough?
Yeah, we should actually.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue. This is why I am, guys. This is
absolutely. Hey, we're both able to do this
24/7, 365. We're here.
Middlesbrough have made it 3 wins from 3 for the first time in 31 years after winning 2-1 at Norwich. Goals from Finn Aziz and Tommy Conway just before half time, and then Josh Sargent scored in the 85th minute as well. Listen, guys, this has been a good start for Rob Edwards. Completely, 3 wins from 3.
Yeah, it's an excellent start.
I've just seen what he said before we go.
No, I don't think it's that comment, Carl. I think it's the one that's conveniently come
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, yeah.
Do not read that out loud,
right.
please.
Yeah, let's not read that out
I'm
loud.
not going to. I'm just going to put it on the screen.
Let's just sweep it under the carpet. Just move on.
Jesus.
Let Ant be Ant, yeah.
Yeah, and be Ant. Oh, actually, yeah, the little shithouse.
We know. He's our shithouse.
Absolutely. Oh, we love him to bits for that. It is funny. But just to move on back to Middlesbrough before Ant tries to put us all off again. No, it's a cracking win. Obviously, the caveat with this is that Norwich are still in the transition phase. I know there are a lot of Norwich fans that are probably sick of that word based on last season, transition. And I know Annie's probably sick of it so many times with Bristol City. But either way, yeah. Look, Norwich are still in the transition, so it's obviously probably a good time to play them. But at the same time, I think Finn Azaz, for example, is just demonstrating his importance to Borough. I mean, I think there was a link to Southampton in midweek, possibly. How much substance?
There was a bid. There was definitely a bid.
Was it 12 million? Apparently, a 12 million.
I think Rob Edwards confirmed there was a bid as well.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, if you're Middlesbrough, you just flat out reject that. And to be fair, you could say, well, hang on, we're above you in the table by about 5 points. Why do we want to sell to someone who's beneath us?
I know.
So
if we want to sell it,
go down that route, then
give an extra couple of million, then we'll talk. But no.
Well, yeah, exactly. But no, being serious though, I mean, look, I've said all along that I think I've been someone who's not champion, but I've been someone who's kind of stuck up for Rob Edwards a little bit in that there's a lot of negativity surrounding the appointment, and obviously it is still very early days. It's still only 3 games in, but I've said that I think Rob Edwards will be a better appointment than I think people were making out that he would be. I mean, I'm looking. I mean, just look at that. I mean, obviously you've got like Callum Britton in there, you've got Hayden Hackney in there, you've got Morris still in there, Dale Fry, and then their front 3. I mean, come on, Morgan Whittaker, Finn Azaz, Tommy Conway. That is a top end championship attack. There's no way that you shouldn't be at least challenging for the top 6 in there. But if you want to look at it with the way that the way Ipswich, Southampton, and say Sheffield United have started, capitalise on it. Why not? Obviously, Josh Sargent scores, and obviously the big question will be whether he ends up staying or not. So, and I know Ant's put another comment in there, so I'm trying very hard not to read it to lose me composure. But
listen, keep focus.
Yeah, okay, right. But look,
focus.
There obviously is still a lot of question marks around Josh Sargent, and if he does go, we all know that it will take Norwich a bit of time to adapt to him not being there. But with Borough, it's a great win. They made it harder for themselves than they should have done, given that Norwich went down to 10 men. Jacob Wright being sent off midway through the second half. But to be fair, good for Tommy Conway to get himself a goal, because I've said that obviously one of the biggest downfalls of Borough last year was that when they sold Lat, they didn't really have... Well, they didn't replace him, did they? Because Kelechi Iheanacho may as well not have even been there. So that's not really a replacement.
He was a fat bastard last season. I don't know how
Carl's words, not mine. But
hey, I would admit to that.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just not saying.
He was linked somehow. He was linked with us last in the winter. I'm not taking this fat bastard from Victor Altea.
What's the chat? Where he goes, "You shit bastard," like going, "You fat bastard."
Yeah.
That would be, yeah. Trust me, you see the size of me, I can't talk. To be fair, but either way, look, but for Borough, like when you look at the way last season ended, you can't knock Rob. And Rob Edwards couldn't have had a better start. Obviously, in quite hilarious Borough fashion, they obviously lost to 4-0 to Donny in the League Cup, but I don't think too many Borough fans are going to care about that.
No.
3 wins from 3, 2 of them away from home, remember. And bear in mind, last week, as we said, winning away at Millwall, that was a statement for me, given how hard the Den is to go. And obviously, while Norwich are still in transition, they've still got some decent players in there. And they've obviously got Liam Manning there. So I think I think over the course of the season, Norwich will get better. And I think it's good time for Borough to go there. But whether it lasts, how long this lasts, the course, I don't know. But yeah, 100% start for Middlesbrough, you can't complain. And obviously for Liam Manning, I mean, any consolation, they're above Ipswich Town at the minute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I laugh and I think we don't need to say anything more about that.
Just ignore
Hey,
that it's
look.
3 games in, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm not laughing at Liam Manning. I was laughing at the last comment. I do wish Manning all the best.
He said through gritted teeth.
I wish you all the best.
Yeah, just go.
Thank you, Aaron. At least someone agrees with me.
Kelechi is one of my favourite players in recent seasons, but he's still a fat bastard who needs to put the burger down.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
It was Victor Ortega, our former director of football at Road, was offering us. I'm like, hell no, I'm not taking. We're not, because we were linked with him. I'm like, no, I'm not taking. We're not taking.
They just go to the point you'd rather have Patrick Bamford playing than a Kelechi.
Yeah, and that's what we did. Yeah.
Wow, that's a statement. If you'd rather have Patrick Bamford than Kelechi, actual goodness me.
I know Bamford is made of glass, but at least he still actually did contribute that he actually did at Middlesbrough last season.
Thought you were going to say at least he still plays like a footballer when he does play.
Well, depends.
An average mediocre one, but still a footballer.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
There you go, Annie. There's a signing for you. Patrick Bamford on loan. It's like,
I think I'm all right.
Yeah, I had a feeling you might say that.
Yeah.
I think we'll stick with what we have at the moment rather than that, to be honest.
Fair enough. Moving on to another team that's done start well this season is Stoke. They continue their 100% and beaten run as well by winning 2-1 at Southampton. Lewis Baker and Silva Thomas scored the goals for Southampton. Tyler Howard-Bella scored in the 79th minute, but Mwamba was sent off for diving. Actually, it was a complete dive. But I have to say, guys, Matt Roberts has started well at Stoke, properly in his first full season.
Can I just quick before Andy says his bit? I can't believe we're actually mentioning the words Stoke and starting well in the same sentence.
I know.
But
and Mark Robbins.
Yeah, Mark Robbins. Maybe it was just a Mark Robbins and Coventry thing, eh? Who knows? This is where Ant will probably find some comment about this. But yeah, do you know what? I don't know what you think. Yeah, that's a statement win that away at Southampton. That's incredible. And especially with 10 men for half an hour as well.
That second goal is brilliant. Silva Thomas, he's one of those players where if he gets down and just works and just puts like all the negativity just behind him and just focuses on the football, the guy is a ridiculously good footballer at this level. Like he showed that under Carlos Corberán, and Mark Robbins is using him on. Yeah, actually, Robbins, once they went down to 10 men, played him up front and might have actually helped Thomas a little bit.
He did.
Yeah, the numbers is producing is brilliant. And yeah, they look really good. Lewis Baker is cracking player, really good midfielder. They've just got a really solid outfit, and they look like they're going to be adding a little bit more to that in the transfer market as well. So yeah, look, I don't think you've ever looked at a Stoke squad and went, there's little there. There's always been quality there. Like, even last year, there's Wouter Berger, there was Million Manhoef, there was Victor Johansson. But it feels like they're a little bit more settled now. They've got rid of players who maybe had talent, but hadn't shown that at Stoke. And Mark Robbins,
a bit more that's carried him on the back of his shoulders, more like, and it was hurting him so much.
Yeah, pretty much. And Mark Robbins is a very sensible guy. He's a very good manager, and he will produce a team that isn't isn't possession heavy, but it plays good football. It's athletic, it's dynamic, and is just very good to watch. So yeah, they've got a good base. they've got a pretty good attack. They've got Mabamba, they've got Manhurst, they've got Baker, they've got Silver Thomas. They've got some good attacking players. Stoke,
And also the best key players, Victor Urias, who they've kept
who's
after he was
just
linked.
ridiculous, just ridiculous. I mean, when the opposition is tweeting saying, "Oh yeah, Taylor Harwood, Bellis didn't score, but that's just Victor Johansson." That's like, okay, this guy's pretty good. And yeah, there's
He's a freakishly good goalkeeper, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's ridiculous. And
I don't know why West Ham didn't get him. Look what with their goalkeeper at the bottom
Or
from
getting
Leicester.
Matt Birmingham instead.
Yeah.
Put it this way, if Anthony Patterson at some point, I don't think he would, but if Anthony Patterson left us in the next week, I'd be all over Victor Johansson. But I don't think he'd want to be second choice, which I would respect. Fair enough. But yeah, ridiculous goalkeeper for Stoke. And I think he was probably one of the reasons that Stoke ended up, and this sounds very depressing for Stoke, but this was probably he was probably one of the reasons they stayed up last season and didn't end up getting relegated. But again, I mean, this is by far Stoke's best start in the Championship, probably since they got relegated, and that was all the way back in 2018.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's Ant right on cue there. As you said, yeah, Mark Robbins a chance to manage at a decent club. Yeah,
did they not have a good start under Michael O'Neill in the COVID season? Maybe.
So that was 2020-21, wasn't it?
I think they were in the top two.
Give us a minute. I'll have a look. Go on.
I think they were, but they obviously finished about 16th that season, like obviously. But I think they had a pretty decent start. I might be completely wrong.
I'll have a check.
But yeah, this is probably their best start they've had, and it just feels like I don't know. I don't want to go too early with Stoke. I just don't. I'll wait because I think they've always got the ability to stoke it up. If you know what I mean. In the Championship in recent years, they've always found a way just to flatter to deceive. And you know what? In 10 games' time, they'll probably be about 16th, and no one will be surprised. So yeah, obviously, it's a fantastic start. And something does feel a bit different because it's Mark Robbins and because Mark Robbins is a very good manager. But still, just sign on the air of caution. But I agree with Michael. This is a statement win. Going to St Mary's with 10 men, scoring that second goal, I think is not most teams like Stoke would have just sat back at 1-0 and just been like, all right, try and see this out and just succumb to the pressure. But that was brilliant, and I really like that. And Stoke, great win. And to be honest, I thought they'd lose because of the power of Southampton. You know, the powerful squad. You know, the very very good squad, a very good manager. But yeah, completely a statement win. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% good, stable, good.
Just quickly, I think in the 2021 season, I think they lost their first game to Bristol City, from what I'm reading on here, during the COVID season, because that season started in September, didn't it? Because obviously that was when we had the extension of the previous Championship season having to go for what was it?
I don't think that's true. I don't think. Are you talking about 1920?
No, I'm talking about 2021. Did you mean 1920 you're on about?
No, I'm talking about 2021. We did not play Stoke on the opening day.
Hang on. Well, did you play them early on that season in the first couple of games?
I think we played them second or third game. Possibly.
Right, so by default, then this is their best start because they've won the first three.
Okay.
But yeah, I take the point you were getting at. But yeah, no, everything Annie said is pretty much bang on, and I think it's always been one where we've said with Stoke that we're tired of having the same conversations about Stoke all the time, and eventually someone's got to go. And to be fair, the stock of Mark Robbins, especially if Stoke end up at least finish top half, if not maybe pushing for the playoffs at this rate. But again, it is early doors. But if Mark Robbins does that, it raises his stock more, doesn't it? So maybe it was just Mark Robbins and Coventry were just destined to start shit. Maybe it's just now that Mark Robbins has left and gone to Stoke and Coventry have got somebody else. Everyone wins at the minute.
Yep. No, that's 100% true, actually. And we'll talk about Coventry in a bit as well, actually, coming up. We have to go to Bramall Lane. It's a what a winless start it is for Sheffield United. They lost 1-0 to Millwall. You know, Luke Kondo scored a winner in the 38th minute. And again, it looked like Sellis, 3 defeats and a cup exit in the last few weeks, couple of games has not been good enough. And I know the Sheffield United fans have been very frustrated for what I've been seeing on social media and stuff.
I mean, It's not surprising, is it? Given how poorly
That's,
it started.
obviously, I saw the highlights of this game, and the first three of them were Millwall like clear big chances, and I just went, mate, what are you doing, Ruben Sellers? Like, and then obviously second half they had some big chances, and Stephen Bender in goal was brilliant. Second half in particular, but yeah, this is not good. And I get it. I get the argument that Sheffield United are severely undercooked, like really, really bad. Like the squad is nowhere near it in terms of the replacements for the players they've lost. They've lost Vinny Souza. They've brought in Gibril Samare, who is meant to be that sort of destroyer role that Vinny Souza played last season. He's obviously going to take a little bit of time to adapt to England and stuff like that. But yeah, then you've lost Amadodzic. Not really replaced him. Tyler Binden is a good player, but you need someone alongside him. And they've brought in Ben Godfrey, but Ruben Salah stuck him at right back for this game, and that was I think one thing you learn from his loan spell at Ipswich is do not play him at right back. I think that's fairly cutthroat. On Godfrey, they need more signings desperately. I mean, it's not funny. Like they're severely undercooked, and they've started poorly. Yeah, and I didn't expect them to start like house on fire, but they need. I think Ruben Sellers needs to start adapting a little bit, because I get it. He wants to play his style of football, and if and when it clicks, Sheffield United are going to be brilliant. They're going to be absolutely brilliant. They'll be near the top of this league, and they'll have some brilliant players playing some brilliant football, and they'll be scoring goals for fun. They don't have those brilliant players at the moment because they don't have the structure and the foundation to go and do that. They've got some good players, very good players for this division, but they're not quite ticking. And I think it needs a bit more refinement. I saw a comment or something like that where you're trying to make like a steak, but you've only got the ingredients for scrambled eggs, so might as well just make the scrambled eggs instead of making nothing. Like
Yeah,
make
yeah.
at least cook something to eat, because
It's something that's functional at the very least.
it's because this is completely abject, and this is nowhere near what Sheffield United are. And I think maybe for the time being, Ruben Salas should just adapt. And I know you've only got 9 more days in the window, and that is something. So yeah, United needs signings, and United needs signings quick, because otherwise this could be a very, very long season.
Do you know it says a lot that actually that their Sheffield Wednesday are even above them with everything that's going on there and everything
Yeah.
that all of the negative stuff. That's quite funny for Matt, actually.
It is actually, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like it just says something about how. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Well, you can never say never to anything, but like you would be surprised if Sheffield United still ended up down there. And actually, I looked at the next fixture, and it's Middlesbrough away. Now, it would not surprise me in the slightest, given how there's the ridiculous nature of this league, if they rewrite the narrative and go and win away at a team that's got 100% perfect record so far. That is just how the Championship works. Championship is probably the least logical league that I can ever think of in existence, because it's bonkers. But obviously, the big thing that came out around this, we have to credit Millwall for this, because this is a very, very good win. And if you look at it from an Alex Neil perspective, everyone knows I'm not particularly like him for walking out on Sunderland to go to Stoke. But if you look at an objective level, it's a very good win, regardless of the fact that Sheffield United have started poorly. Like, that's back-to-back wins for Millwall at Bramall Lane now, because they won there towards the back end of last season. So to when Michael says they missed the Wilder effect, well, on this particular game they didn't, because Wilder also lost at home to Millwall last season. But I got the point he was making. I do agree with Annie that I think Sayers does need to learn to adapt to the team that he's got, and that's the sign of a good manager or a good head coach, when you adapt to what you've got around them, what you've got around you, what you have got to work with. So, or the ingredients for a steak rather than scrambled egg that you have to work with around you, in other words. But fair play to Millwall. Like, they took their goal really well. Obviously had to sustain a little bit of pressure, which you would expect, but you got to say, and we've had Alex Neil, it's a weird one, really, because he's obviously maybe Millwall should just keep playing away every week, because if we're beating Norwich away, beating Sheffield United away, and they just got beat 3-0 at home to Borough. So to anyone who's going away to Millwall, just beat them away, beat them at the Den, and then just lose them at home. That's pretty much how it'll work now. Obviously, the big thing is, I believe, is it Japhet Tanganga has pretty much agreed to go to Sheffield United. So for
And
me,
he was not in the squad. He was not in the Millwall squad yesterday because of that.
I wonder why that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, but put it this way: if Sheffield United keep persisting with playing Jack Robinson at centre back, then you're not going to do that well, are you? And that was one thing that even Wilder kept doing. For whatever reason, I do not know. Surely he would have learned after New Year's Day when they lost at Sunderland, when Mayendo and Isidore literally tore him apart. They think, hang on, this guy's not very quick. Maybe we shouldn't play him. Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's right. They kept getting Lady Luck on their side every week. That was why they kept playing him. Anyway, yeah. No, I'm not getting to the Chris Wilder thing again. I know it's like a weekly segment of my hatred of that man. But
it's over for both of us.
yeah, let's just keeping on to this, right? But look, seriously though, like Jack Robinson, like they need to replace him. They need to get somebody in who's much better in there because, I mean, look, it's not a terrible squad. This is it. Like, look, Michael Cooper, Harrison Burrows. You could argue Ben Godfrey at Championship level. I know it obviously hasn't got good reviews from his previous couple of Prem spells, but still, Championship, you'd like to think he should do something. The midfield there that started yesterday doesn't look very balanced to me. It looks like Callum O'Hare, Gus Hamer, and Sidney Peck. It's decent attacking level sort of midfielders, but you're missing that. What Vinny Souza was, like Annie said before, you're missing that sort of bullish pivot sort of player, the engine that keeps things ticking over, that has the control of games and allows people to flourish going forward. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, but even then, you look at that forward line. Obviously, Tom Cannon's not started very well, but like, I don't believe he's a crap striker at this level. Tyrese Campbell obviously got, what was it 15 or so goals, 13, 15 goals last season?
Yeah.
Around that sort of figure. Louis Barry, highly sought after not long ago by loads of championship clubs in January. So, and obviously Sayers was obviously clearly saw something in him at Hull, so brought him here. So, Michael Cooper in goal, like there is something there to work with. It's just a matter of getting the right balance in it. For me, they need to sort out a deeper midfield player and get a good centre back to go next to Bindon, and then maybe have an actual right back instead of Ben Godfrey.
That might be Japhet Tanganga.
Well, right back.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
the centre back.
Okay.
The centre back.
Centre back as well.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Bindon.
I imagine Japhet Tanganga probably will be there. But that means who have they got to play right back? Because I know that Hamza Chowdhury played there last season, didn't he? When he was on loan there. So who's playing there now?
They've got Sariki, haven't they? And you don't want to play You don't want to play Ben Godfrey at right back, do you? And Tyler Bindon, I think he's a good player, but I think he's probably struggled with the step up so far from playoff League One to top of the Championship is why Sheffield United want to be. So he's probably struggled with that. So maybe it's Godfrey and Tanganga. That actually would be pretty decent, wouldn't it? So. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, he shouldn't look out of his depth. I mean, since Sheffield United are bottom of the Championship, so technically he's jumped up from like just a few places up the pyramid. But I get what you mean. Like, I'd still be very surprised if Sheffield United are bottom come say much later on in the season. But yeah, there's no doubt that, and obviously there's the kind of unrest, isn't there? With like whatever my opinions of Wilder, he was very popular at Sheffield United, wasn't he? And obviously everyone's going to look at Sayers probably unfairly, but will go, yeah, this is who they sacked Wilder for. Basically, so the sooner he still starts getting wins on the ball, the better. At the risk of being captain, obvious, of course. But yeah, we'll wait and see. But just announce Middlesbrough 1, Sheffield United 3 next week, just because this league is fucking bonkers.
Yeah, well, he's bonkers at the moment. At the moment, he's trying to cook scrambled eggs, but he's giving some salmonella. Wow, and you are so savage, man.
He is on fire tonight, isn't he?
Yeah. Michael, I cannot see Hamer at Leeds United. I can see more Calvin Phillips coming back than Hamer. No disrespect. That ship is sailed with that one. We were trying to get last season.
Well, if you want to look at a Championship player going to Leeds, what about James Justin?
Yeah, I saw your.
It was.
It was going to happen, but we didn't know what was the extent of his knee injury when he came off at Preston, because no one knew if he had if he was into his injury severity. But it looks like he's only had a dead leg, so it looks like it's all good to go.
Yeah.
So,
was it 10 million quid? I think I saw that.
Yeah,
you agree with Leicester. So I'd be keen to see Ant's car. No, and Ant, you'll probably put, oh, he's absolutely sackless. The squad's hopeless. So I'm delighted that he's gone. You'll probably put something of that nature in there. So we shall see. But what's your quick thoughts on that?
I think, look, especially I think Isaac Smith is not being the player that we thought, when he came from St. Gallen last season.
And did not disappoint.
No, yeah, I know. I've just seen it as well.
I think that's a polite way of Carl saying he's crap.
Yeah.
He's going like, no, he's going, well, I hope he does well, but I can see why Ant might say, please fuck off to Leeds.
Yeah. So the problem is with Elijah Smith, I think he was playing out of position and he's not in his gauge and he's well behind Sam Barron, who was the second choice when Bogle was injured or not playing. So I think to have that rotation will be good enough because Justin can play both sides. I know, listen, we might get the best out of him, and he did start off well for you guys when he came to the club. I know it's gone shit with what's happened, but maybe it's best for us to get the tune out of him. We'll see. So, like I said, he'll probably be a rotational period. Just to make sure we keep the freshness of the right back and the fullbacks in cover. So, yeah, I think it's the right. Him being Premier League experience is good enough anyway.
Yeah, I think if it was going to be rising up to 10 million, that would probably be including add-ons, I would imagine. It would probably be more Michael's just said he thinks the fee would be likely around 5-6 million. I'd imagine it would be probably around maybe 7 to 8 with a couple of million extra in add-ons. That's what I suspect it would be more likely to be around. But there you go. It's a bit of extra money for Leicester. See if he wants to. And technically, I should say he snapped. So he's put nice bloke, shite footballer, then he snapped his ACL and can't play football anymore. Well, clearly the scouting network at Leeds United disagree with you.
I'm not going to comment on that one. We'll see how that. Yeah,
but still, maybe you should just sign Fatawu instead after his goal yesterday.
Actually, no, Fatawu was linked with someone else actually, and it was a club. And do you know who it was? And I remember, I think Doug put this out, and I think it has something to do with Liverpool, but I could not see that.
He was loosely linked with Sunderland, but I think that didn't really. But I'd be very surprised if that materialised with the feed. Leicester will probably won, but yeah, I mean, do you want to quickly talk about Charlton Leicester?
We should, yeah. Let's go on to Charlton Leicester, and then we get on to Preston Ipswich. So, yeah, listen, I know Ant was at the game yesterday, wasn't he? So, yeah, he must have had a good time.
I'm surprised you're not going to get an invite and go, Ant Howard would like to join the chat.
Ant, would you like to join in with us?
Yeah, would you like to wax lyrical about Fatawu, who you were one of the players you absolutely slated, and then he ends up scoring an absolute goal. Mind you, you got to say though, what a finish that is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it just could not have hit it any sort of sweeter. And I actually think this is probably a better. It doesn't. I'd imagine, and Ant will probably tell you this. It doesn't fix the main issues at Leicester, but. What's with this fish thing that's in the chat? Like, no, Fatawu is the only player who I don't think is a twat. Sunderland, sign him. To be fair, though, right? Yeah, look, I've said before, it doesn't fix the issues at Leicester. We know there are still problems there. We know that there's obviously still probably going to be areas of the squad they want to improve. There's obviously still a bit of discontentment between the players and the fans, but this result obviously won't harm things, will it? And to be fair, I do think that it's actually probably a bigger win than I think that I imagine Ant would probably think. Because you might say, 1-0 at Charlton, all that stuff. Again, well, we found out yesterday, as West Ham found out last week, as anyone can tell you, going away to a newly promoted side early on is tricky. It's not an easy thing to do. And I think, Watford went there. Okay, Leicester should be better than Watford, but Watford went there and got beaten the last minute. So Annie won't like me saying this, but Bristol City didn't beat them at home. So at the end, if you look at it, Leicester going there and winning, that was a banana skin in my opinion. Before the game, so for Leicester to go there and get a win, and especially after last week, I think it was needed. Safe to say, but yeah, it was a goal worthy of winning any game. And look, Charlton gave themselves, by all accounts, from what I saw of the highlights, they gave themselves a decent account. It's just that Leicester just have better quality, and that's pretty much sometimes how how the throw of the dice goes. But yeah, Fatawu. I mean. Is it safe to say that Leicester will miss him massively if they sell him?
Yeah. Should not be playing this division, my goodness.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree as well. He is horrific, absolutely awful, but we're absolutely won. Now you've seen the Leicester now, fuck off. We don't need we've made 50 million sales and with £8 million of wage bill. Yeah, you see the list. God's sake, yeah, you're on it.
Forgot to mention, obviously they've sold Kelsey McAteer to Ipswich, haven't they?
Yes.
So what Michael's saying there, they need Leicester City have sold McAteer to Ipswich for 12 million. Leicester need to sell due to financial issue, not just PSR. You'd like to think there'd be much more fight. Well, see, the thing is, they sold McAteer for 12, and they've sold. I don't know if there's any sell-on clauses or anything in there. If they've owed previous clubs anything, James Justin selling them for up to 10. This
I
makes
think
me
there is a sell-on. There is a bit of maybe add-ons on that one for I think it goes up to £15 million.
right. Okay, so I think, well,
Jesus.
if that's the case, then Leicester financially, unless I'm missing something, maybe could be able to afford him.
Yeah,
Afford to keep him. I meant.
And they could also sell Bilal El Kanous as well. So
he is. He's definitely going to be going to Crystal Palace. I think
okay.
that is definitely now the case after Eddie's now moved to Arsenal. I think now we do see Palace now moving
Yeah.
side up.
You wouldn't be surprised if that sped up, would you?
Yeah,
Crystal Palace signing another EFL wonder kid. I would never.
Next thing you know, they'll sign Tommy Conway.
Okay, I did say wonder kid, but all right.
Yeah, so still Tommy Conway.
yeah.
Joe really is a random one for you. On one of my FIFA career modes, whenever I play, Tommy Conway always goes to bloody Crystal Palace every single time. Always like when you scout any players to sign and go, why is Tommy Conway at Palace again? Like, is he literally following the mold of signing the best players? Like, oh, there's a goal. So maybe that's why Ipswich got relegated, because they thought, Palace can sign great EFL players. Let's do that on steroids and sign everyone in the Championship who was absolutely mint. But yeah, no, sorry, but yeah, for Charlton, quickly on the game, yeah, for Charlton, this won't define whether they stay up or not, and I still think Charlton will be absolutely fine. I think Leicester needed that as a response for last week. Oh, here we go. What's he saying now?
Poor old Nathan Jones. Poor old Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones. Do you know what? Right, I've said all along that I think Nathan Jones, for a certain level, is not a bad manager. His ceiling is probably playoffs championship, maybe. I think above that, you're probably going to see him struggle to get that, unless everything falls for him perfectly. But yeah, I think for Charlton now, for the siege mentality, us against them sort of mindset, I think that's one of the reasons I think Charlton will be fine this year.
Yeah,
but I understand he's not for everyone. His character certainly divides opinion.
very much so, and Fatu's first goal for almost 15 months as well. So, yeah, it's about time he get to get his confidence boosted up for Leicester this season as well. Let's go to Ipswich. Loss at Deepdale again, losing 1-0. I don't know what to say about you. We were talking about McKenna not too long ago, but it just seems like what's been going on at Portman Road. It's just just like what Sheffield United going through. It's just everything's so slow at the moment.
Yeah, I mean they've started less crap, haven't they? Because at least they've got a couple of points on the board. It's a weird one because obviously I didn't see this game. Obviously, funny enough, actually on the train back from Burnley, we spoke to a few Ipswich fans, and I think so. And obviously, it was a very good conversation to have just about thoughts of the season and all that stuff. And obviously, being Sunderland and Ipswich, Jack Clark did heavily come into the conversation. So obviously, we've kicked a dead horse at this point. So, Kieran McKenna, you deserve this for not playing Jack Clark in his right position, mate. That's all I'll say to that one. But yeah, look, I do agree. I think with Andy's point about the midfield, I think it is fair. I think they need to get another sort of deeper lying midfield role. Jack Taylor, I still believe that at this level should be a canny midfielder. I think if you have the right player next to him, it allows Clark. I mean, but look at the front foot. Okay, George Hurst is still there, right? But let's say and it's a weird one. I was going to say put Chuba Akpom there, but his best form's been as a 10, hasn't it? So you're not going to put Smodics up front, really.
Michael, I don't understand your doubts over George Hurst. I think he's great. I think he's a brilliant striker. I think he's fantastic.
Really?
I think he puts himself about. I think he's great in the McKenna system, and he's been great for Ipswich.
Well, maybe I'm just basing it off the Birmingham game.
Opinion
maybe I'm basing it just on the Birmingham game, and then maybe that isn't fair. But in that game, I thought he was honking. I thought he was. But to be fair, I don't think anyone at Ipswich played well that night and I suppose that is probably down to Birmingham. I think maybe the problem is we're comparing dropping from Liam Delap to George Hurst.
Yeah. He's no.
And I think that is kind of a thing, really. So, well, all right then. Let's say you include George Hurst in that. Clark, Smodics, Philogene, Hurst. That should be better than just scoring 2 goals in 3 games. Like that. And even one of them was an own goal that was gift wrapped for them by Howard Bellis. Although, to be fair, but it's weird because the first 2 games I watched, they were battered at Birmingham, a large part, and I think we're probably lucky to come away with a point there. But then I thought they played pretty well last week. against Southampton. I don't think they played too badly. I think the problem with this one, and I suspect how the game's gone. And again, if you mention stats again, and to be honest, I absolutely hate doing this. But you're talking about who has the more possession, because it doesn't matter how much of the ball you have; it's what you do with it when you have it. But like look at the XG stats. Then you look at it: 0.84 for Preston, 1.34 for Ipswich. That suggests to me they created some decent opportunities, just didn't end up finishing them. But the problem Ipswich are going to have now is teams are going to see them as relegated from the Premier League, Ipswich, and will set up in a low block against them. Part of the reason I bet you that they probably would have won so many games early on the last time they were in the Championship was because they saw them as a club that's just come up and would therefore go at them more and would leave space in behind and more space for them to attack each other. So, whereas now, I think Ipswich are going to have to learn how to break a low block down and how to break teams down that are going to sit in against them. But yeah, there's no getting away from the fact it's a poor start. Like 2 points out of the first 9. It's certainly not the type of start that you want. I mean, I suppose you want to look at it this way. Cheers that.
What did he say?
I repeat, please do not repeat that on camera, live on social media.
I'll tell you what, I will repeat it. Ipswich are in trouble. You'll be playing Northampton Town next season. There you go. I didn't say which comment.
That was fine.
That's not
which one. Well, and if you want to believe that, then put it this way. The next 2 games, by that logic, they should win because they've got Derby and Sheffield United both at Portman Road. But again, the Championship's bonkers, so you can't rule anything out. Yeah, look, I still believe Ipswich will improve. They should improve, really, but like you'd like to think they would improve, but you never know. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if they did not improve. But free Jack Clark, and by that I mean play him on his actual. I can't get out of that out of my head. But yeah, I mean I don't know what you guys have got to think, but yeah, I think at some point, if they don't start picking up results soon, then obviously McKenna is going to be under pressure, isn't he? Which I think is
so that's so ridiculous to say. No, you're
well,
right.
no,
You're completely
is,
right.
but it's not wrong.
You're completely right. You're completely right. But imagine saying that this time last year or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
This time a year and a half ago or something like that. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you want to talk quickly, sorry, Annie, if you want to quickly talk about something ridiculous. If I'd said to you, out of the 4 parachute payment clubs, so Sheffield United and the relegated sides, Bristol City would be above 3 of them after the end of game week 3. Exactly.
Who are we not above?
Leicester.
Oh yeah, Leicester. Oh, yeah.
You're 1 point above Southampton, 3 above Ipswich, and 5 above Sheffield United.
Yeah.
So I bet you would have had told you that right before you played Sheffield United.
Top of the league, baby. Premier League.
Hey,
no.
So,
But seriously, I'm not concerned about Ipswich just yet. But I do think that play your best players in the best positions, right? Very fair, very easy, and maybe. Well, I don't know if it's a maybe. They have just signed Casey McAteer, so maybe he slots in on the right hand side, and then Clark goes on to the left. But then where the hell's Jaden Philogene going to play? Where's Sammy Smodix playing? With is Chubrakpom and Smodix? That's a conundrum. Is Smodix going to play up top? Is Akpom going to play up top? There's a lot for McKenna to sort of ponder. I don't really understand the Casey McAteer signing, if I'm being brutally honest, because I think 12 million for someone who's a maybe he might start, I think is a lot of money. And I think could have gone into other areas, midfield. But yeah, I think if Ipswich just are to properly sort of start propelling and start, really go attack the Championship, they need a midfielder. Like they need Hayden Hackney or a Hayden Hackney-esque player, because if they're stuck with Mutasiwa and Jack Taylor, this is starting to what I saw from that Birmingham game, I do not like. So they need a bit more.
Do you know, to be fair, here's one for you. And I don't know how much of this, if he's the same player as Hayden Hackney, so Annie can shoot me down if I'm wrong here. Max Bird?
Max Bird, Hayden Hackney.
You tell me. There might be 2 completely different players, because you'll know more than me.
Well, I don't think McKenna's actually played a left-footed midfielder in a while, if I'm remembering rightly. No, I don't think he has. Apart from Cameron Humphreys, who's kind of a third, fourth choice midfielder, I don't think he has played. So so in League One, it was Morsi and Luongo.
And for fuck's sake.
In
You're just
League
trying
One,
to
it was
advertise
going
your
for it
whole
now.
squad and make everyone else terrible. Hey, Ipswich got part with 25 million quid and go inside Oliver Skip, please. Oh my god. Do you know what the point you make about McAtee, to be fair? It's actually a pretty valid one, though, because if you're Leicester and Ipswich, you should be viewing each other as promotion rivals, potentially, down the long course of the season, if it plays out the way that it should do due to expectations. So the fact that Leicester are willing to sell McAtee to Ipswich suggests to me that they don't feel they'll miss him at all. Or it'll be they need money for help their financial situation, and he thinks, yeah, we can get 12 million for him and we won't be too bothered about losing him. So, who knows? Maybe announce Harry Winks joining Ipswich.
All right, can we go on to the next game then?
Yeah, we'll go to the next game completely.
Great win for Preston, though, just to point out. Very good win for them.
Great start as well.
Oh yeah, draw with the QPR and beating two of the relegated sides at home. Can't complain with that. Fair play, Heckingbottom.
Yeah, fair point. Right, let's move along. Actually, I'm just thinking where else we can go.
And you absolute bullshitter, well, Carlogs. You will not come on next week if
no, I know. I'm not buying
promise
that.
you people
If
that.
he talk. You didn't talk.
And I can't even accuse any of that because the one time he didn't come on, Bristol City beat Sheffield United. He's came on to talk about a 0-0 draw with Charlton Athletic and a 1-0 draw at Derby County. So he's not the fair weather fan here.
And I'll be here next week after we lose 3-0 at home to Hull City.
Actually, you know what? Let's get on to Hull City, actually.
Oh, he's on the segways tonight, this guy.
Yeah, let's get to Hull City, actually. They lost 3-0 to Blackburn. My God. I have to say, Hull looked really, really flat yesterday. And it's not a surprise, but Blackburn to come away to get the 3 points. I have to say, Ryan H has got his first goal for more than a year, actually, as well. And Todd Catwell was one of the scorers with Yuki Asani actually to score, as well. But despite the lost 3 of the previous three of the league and cup matches this season, they looked really good against Hull yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, new captain Todd Cantwell, because Lewis Travis is on his way to Mr. Eustace at Blackburn, not at Blackburn.
Derby.
Yeah, Derby. So yeah, good start for Cantwell. I don't think Rovers will be, in a relegation fight or anything. I actually don't remember where I had them. Probably in a relegation fight now that I've said that. So yeah, I think they're a good team. They've got some good players. They've not really signed a hell of a lot. They probably need a little bit more in the transfer market. But I thought they played okay against Birmingham. They're probably good value for a point. Against Blues, they got a bit unlucky. 98th minute is always a little bit of, it's a moment in the 98th minute. So, a good win, a great win for Blackburn, especially considering Hull have started the season pretty well. So, yeah, a bit of a blip for Hull. They'll be hoping that it's just a blip and it's just that, and they can not get better next week, hopefully. But the week after, after the international break, go for it, mate. I'm not going to say it was a ridiculous, alarm bells for Hull. But yeah, not a great win.
We do need to have a word with the bloody stadium announcer. I have heard about this. The way he I don't know if you've seen it, Michael, but
I've not seen it, so you'll have to fill me in on this.
Annie, should we tell him? Because the stadium announcer at Hull has been...
I think it will be hard to explain to Michael, so I think we should just leave it and then we'll send him a video in the group chat afterwards. I think that will probably be better.
I'll look at it later on.
Yeah. I think if we try and explain it, it won't be that funny.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Why don't you send me a link now and I'll quickly look at it.
I think if you just search on Twitter Hull Stadium announcer, you're probably going to find about 70
You're going to find
videos.
it easy, just like that.
Oh yeah, okay. It is trending, so let's have a look. Back again.
I think you might want to mute yourself, Michael.
Yeah, you
should.
Anyway, bad day for Hull.
Really bad day for Hull, yeah. Disappointed as well, especially, look, I know with the new manager they brought, Yakovic, I just do worry about I can't see him being there by Christmas. I really don't. I just think of the decisions they've made of after sacking Rossignol, then you brought Sellers, you brought Tim Vogt in, and you brought Ruben Sellers, and you sack him. It just, yeah, I don't know. It's like a tick time, but time out at the MKM Stadium completely. It really is.
I have to admit, I've quite liked what I've seen from Yakirovic so far.
Yeah.
But that yesterday was that was horrific. That was nowhere near it. I agree with you completely. But yeah, I'd still like to see a little bit. I'd still think a little bit more time, a little bit more patience with Yakirovic, because he has got a squad that is once again been turned over completely. So probably needs a little bit more refurbishment. A little
We've just seen
nice.
Michael's reaction. I've just seen Michael's reaction there. He's looking. He's
I don't
seeing.
think I don't think he can hear us. Hello,
No, you
Michael.
don't
Can you
know.
hear
But
us?
I know he can't hear us.
Hello, Michael.
No, he
Hello,
can't
Michael.
hear us. But he's
Hello,
just
Michael.
seen his reaction there. Just to see, just listening in. Like, what in the world is he on something? Yeah.
Right, should we move on to the
fair
next game?
point then.
Michael, what did you think of it?
Yeah, okay, I can see why people find them amusing. The north, south, east, west, whatever, stand naming it.
Yeah,
Fair play for passion. That's all I'll say. Fair play for really putting the effort in for that.
I know.
Here's a quick one while we're on the subject of Stadium Announce or Hull's Grant. They play the same music before we do, before coming out, which is Wise Men Say from Elvis Presley.
Great song.
It is,
Fantastic song.
When we went to Hull last year, I think, we were just kind of laughing, going, hey, we're back. We're just like back at home, this. It's like just playing this right at the KMK on stage. But yeah, no, that is quite funny.
Hey, it's not as bad as when we played Liquidator when West Brom were visiting. That is committing suicide. What are you doing? Yeah, sorry, that still haunts me to this day.
I love the Liquidator. This is the Agnes, me.
No,
So.
it's a great song. You do not play it when you're playing West Brom. That is literally.
Yeah, I know West Brom. Yeah, I've heard about that.
What
Chelsea,
are you doing? Yeah.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Sorry. Championship. Next
Yeah,
game.
Championship. Yeah, get back to the Championship. Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's go to the Swansea.com stadium, and it was one more draw between Swansea and Watford. Was that a fair draw between the two sides, or do you think one of the teams could have got a win out of this one? More Watford than Swansea?
I guess by default, for the fact they were ahead for, pretty much under an hour of the game. I tell you what, but if I remember rightly, both finishes were pretty good ones.
Yeah.
Vopotniks in particular, but I think if I'm right, I think Vopotniks I really like, but I love ones that like the side footing and Henrik go back in off the post. Like they're really, really. I think I've remembered the goal correctly. So that
free kick, the Watford goal.
No, I'm talking about the Swansea one.
I thought the Swansea one was horrific. I might be remembering. I'll have a look.
Yeah, maybe my memory's hazy then. Well, okay.
It was his first touch as well. Literally, it was his first touch. So.
Well, Vopotniks. Well, there you go. Then you couldn't have made a better impact than that. I mean, I guess it's kind of one of those bog standard Championship draws, really, where I think that obviously Watford will be very disappointed considering that you end up. No, your hand's probably not wrong there. No. Probably a sackable offence that for Watford's manager drawn 1-1 at Swansea. We'll wait and see. Pezzolano will probably be out of the door before the international break. So, but yeah, I mean, no, from Watford's point of view, obviously if you take the lead for that long, you're disappointed not to end up winning it. But I don't think Watford fans would have said a point of Swansea's a really disastrous result beforehand. It's just with added context. And as for Swansea, I'm trying to remember if Swansea have won a game yet. I don't think they have.
They have. They beat Sheffield
United.
Of course they did. How could I forget that?
Who hasn't beaten United, Michael?
Sorry?
Who hasn't beaten them yet?
Well, we'll see when Bristol City come up against them. We'll see what happens there.
Sheffield United, and we have beaten Sheffield United. Thank you very much.
Yeah, true. They still won't have won a game by the time they go to Ashton Gate. It's fine. That'll be their first win. Yeah, but no. To be fair, though, keeps both teams on 4 points, doesn't it? So it just kind of keeps it a bit of a meh start of the season for both. But obviously Swansea, to be fair to Swansea, I mean, what is it, away at Middlesbrough, home to Sheffield United, and then despite the table will tell you that's not a tough game. And obviously Watford at home. It's not been the easiest of starts for Swansea fixtures-wise, so I don't think there's too much to complaining with it, I'd say. No. And then obviously Watford, if I remember right, who did they lose to first game? Lost to Charlton, difficult game, a good place to go. Beat QPR, draw Swansea. So pretty average start for both teams, I'd say. Nothing to get too excited or concerned about yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely as well. Let's go to the Hawthorns, and I think there was some controversial decision.
Oh yes, there was.
1-1 draw.
Ryan Mason.
Yeah,
that's putting it kindly.
Yeah, I know. And listen, hey, good goal from Mikey Johnston. Actually, really good goal in the 26th minute. Then Colby Bishop equalised in the second half, but there was some controversial decisions that should have been. One of the two should have been a penalty, and I was very surprised that the referee decided not to give it. But he said, "Right,
championship referees are honking." Horrific.
Can I just quickly say before we get on to the controversial decisions for Mikey Johnston's goal, you look at the Pompey player in front of him, and you're going, close him down, and he doesn't close him down. You're going, oh, why have you not closed him down? And then you look who it is, and it's bloody John Swift. And John Swift, out of all the people in the known universe, knows exactly what Mikey Johnston's going to do. He's going to try and put it into the top corner. He's going to try and shoot from there, and he just doesn't do anything about it. And that, I don't know, they just really tick me off for some reason. So yeah, sorry about
Didn't
that.
John Swift join Portsmouth from West Brom?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, he's been there for years.
Well, see, Annie, maybe he felt sorry about it and he wanted to give West Brom a head start on his return there. You know, just have it end a 1-1 draw. But yeah, you're right.
I've seen dreadful defending. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely was. If you're the team that concedes it, you're going to be like absolutely fuming. But well, the controversies. Where'd you start? Do you want to start with the penalty, or do you want to start with the potential red card offence as well?
The penalty was first.
Penalty first, yeah.
What do you think of that then?
Not the penalty.
It's a penalty.
Not calling the referee.
You know what the best thing about all of that is? The Pompey fans start clapping after the challenge. Like,
yeah, I saw that.
It's like it is the most obvious penalty, and I don't know if the referee got deceived by the fact the Pompey fans started clapping. But it's
how did Pompey get a draw? Their fans clapping.
It's a ridiculous challenge. I mean, it's so bad, and Ryan Mason doesn't lose it there. He doesn't lose it at.
He loses.
Well, no, he starts to lose it, but he doesn't lose it. He doesn't go into head loss mode, does he?
And then the Regan pull and a Hegabo is just craziness.
And then what gets pulled out again? I'm like, what?
That was blatant. That was an absolute blatant one. That red card, right? How Regan pull ended up staying on the pitch is. Well, no, I do know how. I don't know how it's beyond me because again, I've ranted last season. Carl and we both remember this. I've said I do not rate AFL officials. I think they are absolutely terrible. So yeah, I'm not totally surprised, and I'm not surprised in the slightest that Ryan Mason ended up having probably his biggest head loss so far, because I think everyone in that situation would have done. It looked as blatant as I can ever remember seeing it. But yeah.
He brought in a Jose and Antonio Conte in him, and like I thought, you went with one of the two maverick managers that can go above and beyond, and it just showed you how much he really gave a damn and said, "What were you doing?" And now he's not. He's not going to be on the touchline for the next game for due to his descent. So this is a bit of a.
Do you think what didn't help was the fact that Hegebo didn't actually go down? The fact that he stayed on his feet is probably
the first one. He didn't go down. Well, he brought down the box, but it's just the way he did. You know, if he went out straight away, I think the referee would have gave a penalty.
Well, no, I'm talking about the red card. You know, when Regan pulls like sort of, basically trying to manhandle him. I think it was Hegebo running through on goal.
Both.
I think the fact that he didn't go down, I think, is probably what saved Regan Poole from getting sent off. Which I'm not a fan of that because I think because if he does that, and I mean fair play to him for trying to stay on his feet, I suppose. But it's like because I don't like the idea of encouraging players to go down, sort of willy nilly. But I suppose West Brom fans will probably say, "Why didn't you go down? He might have been sent off then." But yeah, But seriously, I think you've got to credit Pompey, to be fair, though. I think, from Pompey, you've got to, in those circumstances, to applaud a penalty not being given, basically. But being serious, as much as Mickey Johnson's goal was a cracking finish, I don't think Colby Bishop's header was a bad one either. I think, if I remember right, I think, and Annie, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think his head's flicking sort of slightly backwards as the ball comes into him, and he finds it accurately into the top right corner. So, and remember, West Brom's a very hard place to go and get a result, and especially when you're 1-0 down as well. So clearly, Colby Bishop said, "Screw you" to John Swift for giving West Brom a head start, and then decided to try and make amends to get them a point. But yeah, maybe they got away with it in controversial circumstances. But solid point for Portsmouth, and obviously it's pretty. If I remember rightly, Pompey beat Oxford, lost to Norwich, and drew away at West Brom. So again, I don't think they can complain with that, particularly with their last couple of fixtures with Norwich and then playing West Brom away. And West Brom, it's still been a very good start for Ryan Mason, hasn't it? 7 points in 9. I don't think he could have asked for much better. It just obviously wouldn't have felt like that in the moment necessarily.
No, true as well. Let's go to St Andrews. A good win for Birmingham City against Oxford under Gary back at his former club. Piak Song Ho scored in the 40th minute, and like I said, so many chances for Birmingham to win it more than one goal, but to win, there could have been 2-3 up, but to get that one on new win is good, isn't it?
Can I just quickly say, I watched the 30-second clip of Gary Rowett's interview with Oxford, the club, after the game. And he said two things. He said, we limited them to not many chances. And he said another, we started to get tired, hence why we conceded the goal. One, I saw the highlights, a 1-on-1, a free header, just two of the chances, that's two big chances, and then Lyndon Dykes has another header which could have gone in. A lot of chances conceded, and then two, the tired comment, they conceded the goal 30 minutes in. How are you getting tired after 30 minutes?
I know.
Where's the fatigue? I know. There's a lot of running. I know you're not having I know you don't have that.
But at that stage of the game, when there's not even half time yet,
half an hour in, that's, and if that's him genuinely being true and not just saying it in the heat of the moment, that's really concerning. Because Oxford are going to be a team, whether you like it or not, are going to be without the ball for a lot of time in a lot of games this season, because they are one of the smaller clubs in this division. They're probably one of the weaker sides in this division as well. But so you've got to be adaptable to the fact that you're not going to have the ball, and you're going to have to sit in a compact way and defend well. If you can't do that, and if Gary Rowett can't make an Oxford team or a team in the Championship sort of hard to beat and compact, the world might be flat. Who knows?
Yeah, I think if you flip it back again, obviously I did see Birmingham had a good few chances in this game and should have won by more than what they ended up doing, but 7 points, not much you can say about that. I mean, and like I said, the game I did watch of them was Ipswich, where they battered them for about probably 92 minutes, and then ended up, and then obviously there was contention around the penalty. There is momentum there at least, and obviously and to be fair to Birmingham, they do deserve credit for responding to that late penalty by beating Blackburn in the last minute, and then maybe making a bit harder work than it should have been against Oxford, but still nevertheless getting a win there. So yeah, I think you could argue. I mean, I questioned about the hype going with Birmingham, and obviously they'll have harder challenges than Oxford at home, but at the minute, points wise, they're certainly not doing too badly to live up to that hype. So, and again, if you want to look at it this way, when I said Bristol City were above 3 of the parachute clubs, Birmingham City, you're above all of them at the minute.
Yep.
So, which I don't think even the most delusional Birmingham City fan would have believed if you'd said that to them before kick-off against Ipswich.
No, I agree. I agree what you're saying, Michael. I think, this, like I said, they should have won against Ipswich to come away to get that result at Blackburn in the last 8 minutes.
Losing in the 90th minute as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I just ask both of you guys a question? Because I think, if I'm remembering rightly, both of you had Birmingham sort of playoff challenges.
I did. Yeah.
I had them just outside the playoffs. I think
I had them in the playoffs.
Right. I had them third, so I had them pushing automatics. Do you think they're still going to be playoff challenges, or do you think they're a little bit?
I think they'll at least be playoff challengers. The lowest I think they'll finish is 7th or 8th. I wouldn't be surprised if they're well in the playoffs, though.
I put them in the middle, about 5th or 6th. I did, so I would say maybe I will before the last game, before international break. I will want to see the table again to look at, thinking they probably can keep this consistency going. That's what I want to see after the game for them next weekend. That's why I want to see when they do play against Leicester next Friday.
That's a
big one. Friday night football, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. If they beat Leicester, I think I may have to look at them, maybe put them a little bit high up, a little bit closer. But I would like to see if they beat Leicester, then I think my mind will change.
I think I would look to see when the October international break comes along, because then by that point you've played around 10 games.
Yeah.
And then that's when you can really start to look at the table and see it slowly start to take shape on where you think people are more than likely. Obviously, you can account for people starting well and plummeting and having really bad dips in form. You can have people starting really poorly and rise up the league really, really quickly. So, but in general, around 10 games is where I would say you start to get a gauge of where teams are going to be. But the signs from what I've seen of Birmingham are very encouraging so far. And as I've said, if they're playing like... Okay, Annie, let me put it this way. If a lot of their games are the same type of performance they put in against Ipswich on the opening day, then I'd be stunned if they're not at least in the top 6. That's the best way I can answer the question.
I think my opinion of them being like a real automatic promotion challenger has probably only been, in my mind, reinforced anyway, because I think that, as you said, the performances have been really good, and these are not. They should have, would have put more past Oxford. They probably should have won it on opening day, and they won a coin flip of an away game in the Championship when you're in the promoted side.
Losing with a few minutes to go. Yeah,
that's hard to do. Like that is real sort of. Yeah, I think they're probably, in my mind, going to be. I'd say if you're going to win promotion in the Championship, you have to finish in the top 4, and I think Birmingham will probably finish in the top 4, in my opinion.
Well, put it this way: do you think, as we're looking at the start of it, do you think Stoke and Middlesbrough will stay the course? And I don't mean top 2, but I mean will they stay the course of being in a round?
No, not Stoke.
I could see Borough potentially doing it, but even then it's a bit of a knife edge, that for me.
Middlesbrough's 50-50 with my situation. It's 50-50 with that one. So
yeah. But if you look at it, I think I'd be... Well, you never know, but I would be surprised if Preston are obviously up there. But you can't knock it. Like I said, they've beaten 2 of the parachute sides at home. That's not easy to do either.
You get the feeling they're going to be really good at Deepdale. They're just going to be really hard to beat at Deepdale.
I'm slowly becoming now, after when I put them in the bottom 3, I'm kind of regretting it now as the way how they started at home this season.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it's not like they've played, with the due respect to them, it's not like they've played like, Derby with their current state. I mean, Sheff Wed, Oxford, teams like that. It's not like they've played them 3 at home when they played Ipswich and Leicester. That should be 2 of the harder games. I know obviously the state of Leicester at the minute, but they've still got really cracking players there that you would expect Preston not to be able to beat. I think I originally put Coventry as the best of the non-parachute teams that I thought would challenge. And we'll have to get on to Coventry shortly, but yeah, I think Birmingham's got to be in there. I think Birmingham's got to be sort of right in there for that sort of conversation. So I think eventually a couple of the fancied teams will start to get their act together and will start to move up the divisions. I mean, but I say that Leicester are only like 3 points off top with even in 3 games in. They've won 2 of their first 3. So, it's mental how this league's going to be. I think this league's going to be very, very competitive this season at the top. And I'm not talking I'm not talking like 4 teams be clear of everyone else like it has been the last 2 seasons. I'm talking like first to... Okay, maybe the first to like 6th could be much, much closer, for example. Like the gap between, say, 4th and 5th. I mean, if you look at last season, I think Sunderland in 4th finished, 7 points ahead of Coventry? But the caveat is the last 6 games, they basically were preparing for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Before, there was a 12-point gap, if I remember correctly, between Southampton in 4th and West Brom, I think it was, in 5th place. I don't see it being like that this year, based on the way the season started.
No, I don't see it as well. I think this is going to be a little bit more competitive, a lot more closer in this season of the championship. I really do believe that now. The teams that can beat each other on
Yeah.
any given day as well. I
Do
really
you know what? Do you know what's also helped Birmingham? The fact that they've just come off of 111 point season.
yeah,
That the amount of yes, you can say, oh, they bought the League One title. Oh, they were playing, well, Ant would probably call them pub teams every week. Let's be honest, but you know, but the point I'm making, but regardless of that, that breeds winning. That and when and as you know, when you have momentum and when it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, that's very hard to stop. So regardless of what level they've been playing, I think that Birmingham are probably on a bit of a train right now. So actually, I'm quite looking forward to Friday night. I think that's going to be a really intriguing sort of test for Birmingham away from
yeah.
home to see how they're going to shape up. Now, obviously, if Ant leads the boo chorus and then Leicester boo everybody constantly throughout the game and make it a toxic atmosphere, then who knows? Maybe Birmingham can go there and win. But I would certainly be fancying Birmingham to go there and compete at the very least.
So yeah, so do I. All right, let's get into the last two games. We'll get on at the stock car race course ground between Wrexham and Sheffield Wednesday. Two goals from Kiefer Moore, put Wrexham in the 2-0 lead at half time. But what a comeback from Sheffield United, from Barry Barrett and
Sheffield
Bennett
Wednesday.
Sheffield what?
Wednesday. Sorry, it's these two days. When these, let me be honest with you, right? When Sheffield Wednesday was in League One, it made it so easy when Sheffield United was in Championship. But because you have two Sheffield clubs, it makes it. I get confused now of how it goes. So it's
Carl,
always
I dread to think what you're going to be happen if, say, Bristol City somehow do a pig's ear of things and get relegated and Bristol Rovers get promoted.
oh
Then
god, yeah, I know.
you're
Annie
doing League
would
One
not
roundup
forgive
or
me.
something, or Bristol
Annie
Rovers.
would not forgive me. I know.
And I know, I know Annie's going to hate me for saying this, but imagine if Bristol Rovers suddenly became actually competent and went up 2 divisions and win the championship. Then you think, oh my god! If you confuse them, Annie, I think would never speak to us ever again.
No, I know.
Michael, them being competent is middle of League One. That is their peak competence.
Fine. If Bristol City go really incompetent and
There we go. That's more like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then all right.
Yeah. Sorry about was it Wrexham
Yeah.
and Sheffield Wednesday came back from a 2-goal down deficit to draw 2-2. See, this is listen. It's a championship. It's Sunday, right? We're all tired. We're all,
It's the championship. It's Sunday. I like that.
Yeah. Listen, I usually would do, because I do the Premier League on a Tuesday, on the 20th, it gives me time to watch the teams over the space of 2 days. Where in the championship, I have to do it within one night. And I did it early on tonight. So,
well, okay, fair enough.
Give me some slack, okay?
Okay.
So,
To be fair though, so yeah, but it was a great comeback, and actually, I think a lot of people would have fancied Wrexham to win this, myself included. I thought that, well, clearly me and Annie, obviously, unless Annie was a magical genius and saw Sheffield Wednesday coming back from 2 down to get something. And the other weird thing is, Sheffield Wednesday should have won it at the end. They had a fantastic chance at the very, very, very was it last kick of the game, I believe, to end up winning it. Obviously, it doesn't change the issue.
Favorite person, Danny Ward, saved it eventually.
I know. Hey, and maybe Anne's probably thought, oh no, they're going to talk about Danny Ward and Connor Cody, so I can't be bothered. Actually, Anne would probably go, Connor Cody in defence, them conceding 2 goals. Imagine my shock. So
Danny Ward was probably at fault for the second.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not good from him. Second goal is not.
Phil Parkinson, the great manager for you. But yeah.
I got absolute pelters when I put him quite low down on my championship. It's completely off topic. Sorry, I put him 18th, 17th. Absolutely got a few comments saying, "Oh, why have you put him that low down?" I just went, not seen anything from him.
He's a big. Well, put it this way: when I did originally, when I was doing a championship look ahead with Ant, I think I put them originally down 8. But bear in mind, that was just doing it off the cuff. I didn't actually research anything yet. So I'd said 18th, and a few people went, "Oh, he's clueless. You're putting Wrexham that low." I'm like, you can't spend your way everywhere, mate. I'm afraid. No. Don't get me wrong. And I don't believe, and to give Wrexham their dues, I still believe that they do deserve credit for back-to-back promotions, because however much money you spend, more times than not, that is quite difficult to do. Obviously, Birmingham had the money last year, Wrexham had the last few years. That doesn't mean you're going to go up. If that's the case, Luton would not be in League One right now, and Sunderland definitely wouldn't have spent 4 years in League One. So that's just how it is. We spent 3 to 4 million on Will fucking Grigg. So there you go. If that's the case, then if money buys you things, we should have been in the Championship 3 years before we came back into it. So, but with Wrexham's point of view, good for Kiefer Moore. It's good that Kiefer Moore's obviously got himself a brace, and I think after being the legend that helped set up Tommy Watson to get us promoted, it's good that he's going to settle in at Wrexham. Obviously, it'll be a good environment for him to settle into with Moore.
The second goal with the assist of Ethan Horvath, the Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper, by the way.
He's still got to score it. Yeah, either way.
It's so bad from him.
Yeah, but either way, though, yeah, it's bad from Wrexham, that, though. You're 2-0 up against a team that's like really heavily fancied to go down. But to be fair, but it's not like from what I did see of it, it wasn't like a lucky Sheffield Wednesday break. It was deserved. The point they got was very much deserved. And obviously, we've spoke to death about the issues there. Chancery, Muppet. But on the field, that's got to give them confidence, surely. Like, you come away from home at the racecourse where a lot of people fancy them to do really well, and they've come back from 2-0 down and should have won at the end. So that's got to be, that's at least a starting point for them to build on. So, and if you told me after 3 weeks they'd be above Sheffield, they would be the higher of the two clubs in Sheffield. No one, I don't think many people would have had that on. But again, it is 3 games. But yeah, really good point. Really good point coming back. I mean, a lot of, for most teams, coming back from 2-0 down to get a point is a good result. And remember, they were, I believe they went down to 10 men before losing at Leicester as well. Yeah. So obviously Stoke's had a perfect start, haven't they? Obviously they lost 3-0 to Stoke, but the 2 away games they've played so far, they've been competitive in both of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think with Wrexham, quickly, I think maybe for them it might be a bit of a, not a reality, well, kind of a reality check to the Championship and realise Championship's a much harder level than you've been playing in the last couple of seasons. So it'll probably take a bit of an adapting period for them.
It feels like Wrexham have... So what have Wrexham done? They lost the first 2 games, didn't they? They lost...
in their defence, I suppose they did play Southampton and West Brom, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost against Southampton. They went... go and spend $7.5 million on Nathan Broadhead. They lost against West Brom. They went and signed Callum Doyle for... They went and signed Callum Doyle for like $8 million.
That signing mind.
I rate it. Now they've lost against... not lost...
So they've lost 2 points against Sheffield Wednesday.
They drew against Sheffield Wednesday in a bad result. They've gone and like stuck a £7.5 million in for Will Smallbone. So, sorry, is there like a money tree that's keeps growing at Wrexham? I mean, it's
sponsorships are ridiculous.
I mean, look, if they can, that's obviously very much tongue in cheek. I get the revenue thing is ridiculous, and them and Birmingham are like nothing we've ever seen from coming up from League One before. So yeah, there's probably still going to be a lot of money going into Wrexham. Apparently, Will Smallbone, Jordan James is a player, another one being linked. That would be a really like proper quality signing. And Andy Irving from West Ham as well, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So there are still some probably big business to be done at Wrexham. But yeah, not a great start. Not a great start. And the shipping goals as well.
No, it's a huge worry for them, especially how they're conceding goals in the first 4 games in all competitions as well. Actually, so
I dread to think what they're going to do quickly when PSR hits them. Mind,
they will have to sell. They will have to find a way.
Yeah,
playing your actual, saleable assets, Arthur Okonkwo, might be a start in actually selling players for big money.
Really? I don't figure that playing Danny Ward would be a great way to sort of get that underway.
Christ, I don't understand that at all. No, that is if Phil Parkinson gets this horribly wrong, and Danny Ward makes a lot of mistakes, he's only got himself to blame.
To be honest, I've said before that I think I'd be surprised if Parkinson's there within a year's time. By the end of the season, Parkinson will not be at Wrexham.
No.
Someone clip that.
Well, okay. If he is, then he'll be sacked.
We said it in the preview as well. We said it in the season preview.
Hey, look, I might be totally wrong. No will ill against the guy, but I think he's really good for the level he's been at, and I think he's obviously the best they could get in the National League. A really great standout manager at that level. League 2, League 1, fair enough. He's got experience of getting teams promoted from that league, and he's done his job there. I just think Championship. Okay, in his defence, the last time he was in the Championship was when he was with Bolton, and Bolton were like really cash strapped and were really like on its knees, basically. So in his defence, he did manage to keep them up the first season in really hard circumstances. So you could say that, but I think where Wrexham are going to ultimately want to go, I don't think Parky will be good enough for them for that.
No.
But he's given them the platform to at least attract better, if you know what I mean. At least he's got them to the Championship, so, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But like Annie said, clip that and I might be wrong. So, we'll see.
Aye. Well, I'll clip that as well. I will make sure of that as well.
Fair enough.
Right. Coming to the last game. And before
favourite team ever.
before we get to the last game, what a pivotal moment, because 20 years ago, the Rico Arena was built for Coventry. And who was the first team they played against? QPR, and beat them 3-0. But 20 years later, the on the ground until yesterday, that the Dog King and Coventry City are now own the CBS Arena for the first time in their history. And it's been finally, it's ventured out. They got to own the stadium now after Mike Ashley from the French group bought them, but 2 seasons ago. So now we're seeing sides like where Coventry is. But what a way to win it against QPR yesterday, to win 7-1 yesterday.
7.
Yeah. I think the second goal from Victor Top, when he made it 7, was probably the best finish I've seen. Yeah.
Stunning goal. I mean, the day couldn't have gone better for Coventry, could it?
No.
Well, maybe apart from keep a clean sheet, I suppose.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Win 9-0.
Yeah,
if they only win 9-0, it's fine. They've only won by 6 goals. Nah, terrible day at the office. But yeah, being serious, it's a great day for them. Like, obviously, they finally got the stadium issues sorted. That's a big obstacle overcome. They now own their ground. Obviously, we know what was happening there with the fact they were having to constantly play. I think it was extortionate rates to play at the CBS.
Yeah.
That was only going to keep on setting them back. So it's good that obviously that's been done. And then, what way do you celebrate it? By beating QPR 7-1 and being 5-0 up at half time. So, you know, terrible day. But like, what's really good for them is I think obviously Thomas Santi obviously scored, but they got Hadji Wright, Victor Torp and Jack Radoni all getting a brace as well. So it's a day where I think everything's just kind of clicked for them going forward. And you got to mention that, was it 12 goals scored in 2 games? That's nuts. Look, of course they won't have that rate all season, but yeah, I think, and to be fair, it's kind of weird getting used to, again, it is 3 games, but it's weird seeing Coventry start with a couple of wins. Because as you know, the last couple of seasons with Mark Robbins, they've always started very, very slowly and had to play catch up later on in the season. So the quicker they start, the better. But you know, we know about Hadji Wright. I rate Hadji when he's on it. I really rate Hadji Wright at this level. I think Thomas Asante isn't a bad option to have either. Jack Radoni, one of the best midfielders in the league. Victor Torp obviously scored an absolute stunner when it was I think Carl said it was the 7th goal. Yeah, I think there's not much more that could have been done, to be honest, to make QPR's day that much better realistically. So yeah, I think Coventry City fans have every right to be optimistic.
I remember there was, when Fulham got promoted a couple of seasons ago under Marco Silva, they scored 7 and then they scored 6 and then they scored 6. So a Coventry, so what would that be? 19 in 3 games.
Can Coventry score another 7?
Can Coventry score another 7 and become Alexander Mitrovic and Harry Wilson and who else was it?
Well, I can tell you who Coventry have got. They've got Oxford away.
I'll not say anything.
Yeah, well, you would think based on the start that you would heavily fancy, you'd be surprised if Coventry didn't win that. But again, what is it? What's the famous 4? What's the famous 4 words? It is the Championship.
Yeah.
So
it's 4 words.
That's why I said 4 words. Anyway. Well, fine, 3 words. It's the Championship. There you go.
Yeah.
All right then. So announced Oxford United 1, Coventry City 0.
But yeah, I mean,
still a Championship if that happened.
On the flip side of this, for QPR, what a terrible start.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, they do have Kwame Poku and Ilias Chair both injured. I don't think 2 attacking players would have helped them not conceding 7 goals.
Only 7.
But still, they've obviously added really well in the forward areas, no doubt about that. Poku and Richard Kone, great signings. But defensively, Christ, they don't look good. And Watford away, it was a bit of a coin flip of a game. They lost it. They drew at home to Preston. Yeah, obviously, if they lost this game 1-0, everyone's going, "Oh, Coventry away, tough game. It's okay. It's not a disaster and stuff like that." But just the manner of the defeat, it's just 5-0 down at half time it's not good. I think Stefan's going to have to turn it around, and well, if he doesn't, he's out the door. But yeah, not a good start for him. In fact, I would say pretty disastrous. It's about as bad as it could have got for Julian Stefan. He's got Charlton in midweek in the cup, if I'm not wrong. Michael, can you check for me? Double check.
Yeah, I will do. Hang on.
And then, Andy
Charlton
said
at home in the cup. Sorry, and then they've got Wrexham. Hang on, no, sorry. I think they're out of the cup by the looks of it. They've got Charlton in the league next Saturday.
Yeah, got Charlton in the league. All right, okay. Yeah, that's a big game. They won't concede 7, but they'll be hard to score against them. So, yeah, I think one thing that was notable after the game, Julian Stefan said it will be an unrecognisable QPR team next week or against Charlton or whatever it was. And I was like, 3 games in.
And Charlton Athletic 8.
And I'm like, the new manager, you're 3 games in, you don't want to be saying things like that. But yeah, when you've lost 7-1, 7 goals.
Fair play to every QPR fan that stuck there till the very end of that game, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Give them credit for it, because I would have,
To be fair to Stefan and QPR, Coventry probably had about 8 chances and they scored 7 goals. Like, that's a freakish return. Like, conceding 8 chances is a lot of chances, but that's a bit of a freakish return. But still, 7 goals is ridiculous. Like, you can't be conceding 7 goals at Championship level. And QPR, I remember it was West Brom away. They lost 7-1, if I'm remembering rightly.
yes.
That was under Mark Warburton, I think.
Yeah, and if Stalin Birch was the manager for West Brom, was it
Darren Moore?
No, Darren Moore. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was Darren Moore. Yeah.
Anyway, a terrible result, and they've got to turn around, because if it keeps going, purely because of the margin of victory or margin of defeat, Stefan will be under massive pressure, and yeah, that's something you don't really want.
Not this early into a season, certainly.
No, exactly, and especially when Coventry just put 5 against Derby last weekend, and now they put 7 against QPR. It just shows you, it's like Derby, like Coventry are not going to mess about with the slow start BS anymore. Now they need to be consistent.
Yeah, well, I think like Andy said, I think I agree with that. In their defence, if you're conceding 8 chances and 7 of them go in, that's not normal. But mind you, to be fair, you've got to look at it. I think Frank Lampard obviously was a goal-scoring midfielder, wasn't he, to get back to Coventry, and he's got them scoring 12 goals in the first. Well, okay, take out the fact they drew 0-0 first game, 12 goals in the first 3 games, so you're averaging 4 goals a game.
Yeah.
Obviously, of course, they're not going to be that clinical and prolific every week, but that will only help their confidence, really. And like we said, the big thing with Coventry in particular was whether they started slowly or not. So if they build on this, then they've started anything but slowly. And QPR, like Andy said, QPR Charlton, that's a huge game next week, especially being QPR being at home as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, but what a huge news from yesterday. Especially Doug King actually was talking about they were going to build a new 40,000 seat stadium in the Bucks Park Arena, but now they've got the CBS Arena back. That includes the casino and the hotel, which means the revenue will come into the club, which will be huge for Coventry City for the lifetime. Because especially since they left Highfield Road in 2005, they've had 4 stadium owners, 4 home grounds, 3 different club owners, and numerous counters of protests. Until yesterday, things are now becoming a lot more rosy for them in the long-term future, for the security, not just the club, but the city.
And the city can prosper and a lot of cases, the city can often prosper of how well the club does, both in terms of morale and in terms of financially. So, and you're right, I think with the fact they own everything around the stadium, not just the ground itself, I think that's going to be huge for them, bringing extra revenue, even if about 90% of it might be Ant going there trying to piss off as many Coventry fans as possible, probably with how obsessed he is with them. It's funny, we're talking about Coventry here, and funny how Ant's conveniently not here when they've won 7-1.
Hey, I'll be there stopping Ant from doing all that shenanigans when
Of course you will be, yeah.
When I'm off,
forgot
yeah.
you were
You just
for it,
imagine,
yeah.
I'm going, come on, let's go to Coventry, let's go and, I don't know, piss on their statue or something like that. And he's going, no,
Rather not. Rather
come
not.
on. No, come on. I know you like to get carried away, Anne, but no, behave yourself, sunshine.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
Actually, imagine that. I could actually imagine
you're
Annie
gonna have
just
to deal
talking
with that
sense
for the
into Ant
next.
there.
You're gonna do that for the next few years of
To-
your
to-
uni life.
Talking to a brick wall, I think that would be.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
Listen, we will love to help you, but you're on your own with this one. So,
And if it helps when Bristol City go to Coventry, you can get yourself a ticket for the away game. And you know what Ant will be like? He'll be like, is he getting me one? Come on.
Nudge, nudge. Come on.
Nudge, wink, wink. Come on. Didn't see you last time when Leicester went to Ashton Gate, I believe. So let's make up for that. Let's go on.
No, he was here. He was here. We won 1-0, and I sent him.
No, I mean, did you meet up with him personally?
No. I
Yeah,
didn't.
I know he was there, but I mean, I didn't know if you met that day. So, well, come on, this first time we'll meet. Go on, go on. Use your connections, Annie. Go on.
Mm.
And then just imagine you just piss off. And you'll spend literally the whole day just pissing off the Coventry fans. So you can just go, well, if the game's crap, at least I can watch Ant try to take on about 50 Coventry fans in the corner.
Oh God.
And Carl's like, yeah, never more horrifying thought.
I have the horrifying thought it's not going to end well, which I already know it's
No,
going to end well.
probably not.
It's either he's going to be hospitalized with his whole body being cast, or bloody under 6 foot under. Choose carefully.
The other weird thing is, it sounds ridiculous, but with knowing Ant, I wouldn't be totally shocked if he did this either. I know what you'll do. You'll go with Annie to Coventry versus Bristol City, and you'll start shouting, "Callum Doyle, it could have been you."
Wrong away end, mate. Wrong away end.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think he's going to care about that?
The City fan was just looking like, what you doing?
Aye. Well, yeah, Leicester City, Bristol City, sorted.
Oh, sorry. Foxes, not Robins.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
not bring up the Fox comment from.
No. Let's just finish the show.
Yeah.
As it is right now.
It descends into complete madness.
What is this turned into?
Yeah. Right, I've got the tables up now. So Stoke and Middlesbrough continue their 100% unbeaten record start to the season. Coventry only 2 points behind them, and then moving up to third place. Birmingham City and Preston make up fifth and sixth, along with West Brom in the playoffs. Leicester City dropped down into sixth place, seventh place. Sorry, with Millwall, Bristol City, and Southampton to make up the top 10, and then the rest of the top half of the table we've got Portsmouth and Watford just behind them on the points difference between them. At the bottom of the table, it's not looking good for Sheffield United, Oxford. The other teams are still not registered a win at the moment, but really good news for Sheffield Wednesday to get a point and now above the relegation zone. With Wrexham, they're getting their first points on the board as well, along with Derby and Q as well. So, yeah, gentlemen, it's like I said, 3 games in. It's we didn't expect this table to be what it is right now.
No, I mean, that's weird. That when you like I said, how many of the parachute clubs are like? So you got Ipswich and Sheffield United. So you've only really got You got them two in the bottom half. Sheffield United lost 3. Oxford and Sheffield Wed less surprised. Southampton 10th.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Leicester even 7th. So it's funny if you said after 3 games that none of the parachute teams would be in the top 6. But again, there is 43 games to go. Of course, there's a long way.
It is a long way indeed, and these next we don't do the streaming on midweek. So yes, the next 30 plus games of the weekend, we're going to be dealing with this up and down. It's just going to be such a very interesting season, especially both of our teams, Michael, are not there anymore. So it's better for us we're not dealing with that. But
yeah. Well, losing 2-0 away at Burnley made me question that. I'm not going to lie. We'll see. But yeah, this is where...
I was happy to take a 5-0 loss to Arsenal than if it was to Burnley.
Yeah, I think... I don't know. I mean, 5-0 is pretty bad. But at the same time, I know what you mean. At least it was to one of the teams that's going to be up there and not to a relegation rival. So, relegation battling rival, but
Yeah.
either way.
At least we're not West. At least we're not West. At least we'll come on to face West Ham in a few weeks' time. Both our teams, so the more better.
I'm not gonna lie. Based on the way West Ham have started, like if you've got West Ham, you need to be targeting that as. Is it at home? Is it Ellen Road?
Yeah, first game will be at
Yeah.
Ellen Road at home. Yeah,
That's a big one. That is a big one. Yeah, but no, you don't for the championship though. To be fair, this is why I think this is why as neutrals you'll love it, and this is why we're still doing this and talking about it. It's it's an absolutely bonkers division. So let's see if Annie will invite us to Ashton Gateby returns when Bristol City inevitably probably win the playoffs or finish first in the table.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that bridge. We'll cross it when we get there.
yeah.
That bridge is a long way into the future. A long way.
Only 2 points away.
Well, in the meantime, Bristol Rovers, Bristol City, FA Cup third round. You know what they say: if you manifest something enough, it'll happen. So,
don't think I'm manifesting that at this point.
No, I didn't say you were manifesting it. I'm manifesting it.
You should go for it.
I had to watch us roll the red carpet out for Saudi Arabia United. So, and be humiliated.
Jesus.
So, I need someone else to suffer now.
You certainly do, actually. I don't blame you for that one. So, I don't.
You're black and white, honestly. Never mind, right? Like, that's opening another can of worms.
We got to deal with it next Saturday. We'll do our best to take care of it for you. So,
we'll see. We'll see about that one.
Listen, if the result comes after tomorrow night against Liverpool, I don't care if it's a drubbing or whatever. I just want to see Newcastle suffer tomorrow night.
Do you know, to be fair, it's going to be the Alexander Isak derby, isn't it? It's basically going to be, that is going to be the main sort of talking point about it. And this is what it is. That saga's going to rumble on till the end. So, but yeah, and like I said, no, I think with the championship to round it off, I think we wait and see what it's like 10 games into it, I'd say. October international break, that's when you'll see the table start to form a bit. Because at the minute, like one win can jump you from like 22nd to like 6th or whatever it is. So it's still very, very open. It will be open across the season, but it won't take shape properly yet.
Absolutely. Annie, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say the October international break is also good because that's normally when the first manager gets the axe. So
yeah,
will be interesting.
Oh, I'll tell you what then. Who do you think the first manager to get sacked will be?
Good question.
Yeah, you only got 24 to pick from.
I have no idea.
No.
Let me quick look. Look at
No,
the table.
I don't know. I think the easy answer would be Ruben Sellers, right? But I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that.
No, I
think
don't
hold over for longer. I'll give you a good shout. I'm gonna put my money on Wrexham with Phil Parkinson. If they don't,
I was thinking Wrexham.
Nah, they've been through like a lot, haven't they? He's not been there for a year.
I
And
put more on Phil Parkinson, but I wouldn't fully put it full money. I don't know.
What about Pezzolano at Watford? That seems always a safe bet.
Okay, that is probably the safest bet. Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. You know what it is?
I think Michael's put Gary Rowett in there as well. He's put.
That's interesting one there because I think Gary Rowett's Oxford's best chance personally.
Yeah.
But it depends unless they can attract somebody who's obviously like better. It's a tough one. If I'm honest, Julian Steffam at QPR. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if that
He's in my top two. The first to be I would be surprised. I think him and the Watford manager as well is the two safest bets I would take. The riskiest one I would say is you don't know what Sheffield Wednesday would do with Henrik Pedersen if things go. You know what Chansiri's like.
I was going to say, yeah, Chansiri, you can't rule anything out while he's at the helm, can you?
No.
Knowing him, he'd probably expect him to go and win promotion for them without any backing.
Yeah.
No, it's a fascinating one. This one, it might even be one we don't expect either. I actually wouldn't. Okay, here's one. They haven't started badly by any means, but I've still got a feeling about Alan Sheehan at Swansea. And again, they've not started badly, but it's always a case where a caretaker coach does really well, then gets it permanently, and then doesn't do as well. So I don't know. I don't see it, but it's a one that I wouldn't be totally surprised. Well, obviously, it'd have to go probably pretty bad for that to happen. But if I had to put my bet on, yes, I'm going to go the safe. I'll say my safe bet would be Pezzolano at Watford. But Julian Stefan at QPR, I don't think is a bad shout.
Yeah.
I think we can probably conclusively say it is way too early to say which manager.
You're talking about the league in which Watford's in it.
Yeah, probably actually, maybe not.
For any sane club, okay. So you're talking about way too early for any club, not Watford, to sack anyone.
I think for all 23 sane clubs.
Yeah,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you very much as always. I'll see you guys
thank you very much.
next Sunday at the same time at 8 p.m. I thought you would be doing on the 20th with Tuesday with Doug because I'm going to my usual monthly social meet up with some friends. So I will be doing Tuesday, but I'll be back on next Saturday to do the Saturday show 11. Hopefully,
you're telling us you have a social life. Is that what you're saying? You're turning into Ant. You know that.
Please listen. Listen. Sometimes,
how dare you? How disgusting.
Listen for me. Listen, guys. It's never. I sometimes need. Listen, I might be having a social again if I do get it. I just had a job interview just over last week. So I don't know. I should maybe get something back. My social life is going to be pretty much.
All I'll say is you're taking shots from a guy where Ant is probably going to be his social life a lot of the time when he's.
Oh God!
Hey, he's got.
Love you, Ant, but yeah.
I think he's a bit too far away for that. But
oh my God! Listen.
Not when it comes to maybe suggesting you to go to the CBS or something. It won't be.
Yeah, he's got a point. Yeah, that's actually a point
there, if going to the CBS is my social life.
Meh, been there, done it. Lost 3-0, whatever.
Yeah, well, listen.
A good game at the CBS I wasn't there for.
Yeah, here's the difference with me. At least I'll still be able to do my shit while I still have a social life. There's a difference where he didn't do that last season. He just, went out for dinner every Sunday night. Every Sunday night, where I didn't.
He conveniently had a social life when they were in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Consistent.
No, but he needed to go to the pub more because they were losing every week. Whereas now they're winning every week. He doesn't need to drink as much because he doesn't need to drown his sorrows as much. I think that makes sense. I think that's a logical conclusion.
I don't like that. We know how it works. No matter win, lose, he still will go for
It's absolutely hammered.
Whereas me, I'm the opposite of that. Even I do drink, but I don't do it as much as so there's a difference. At least I'm someone else to get my ass onto a show and do this every Sunday night and commit to it. Even though the NFL season start back up after next week, that doesn't mean I'm gonna, I'll still watch it after when we've done the show. But during it, I'm still committed to do this every Sunday night. So yeah.
Yeah, well, at least like you said, you are consistent. At least even with being in the Prem, you're still doing these. So
right, thank you. Yeah, so put my name.
Just me sticking up for you. There we go.
Yeah, tell me social life.
I need to take shots at your character.
Yeah, at least yes, I have a social life, but at least I've got a social life with commitment.
Do you know what you do, Carl? All you got to do to respond with just go up Bristol Rovers. Let's see if we can get a Bristol derby coming up anytime soon.
Yeah, I'll probably do that, Tyler, if he brings it up again.
It's a low blow. It's a low blow, Michael.
It's high blow for me, which I'm happy. So
right, I've got one. Right, Carl, I got one for you. Set up a GoFundMe page to get Annie to the Memorial Stadium.
Why would I want to do that?
Because we'll kidnap you and make sure you've got no choice but to go.
Christ.
Yeah, you better end this because this is going
this is going off the rails a little bit.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael, for sticking and watching for 2 hours.
Thank you, Michael.
By the way, we do not encourage kidnapping of people.
Of course, obviously not.
Okay,
unless it's Annie going to a mem, then it's just.
Nah, still don't. Still definitely
no,
don't.
Me and Carl do in that situation. In general, we agree with you, but in this case, it's a special circumstance.
It's a special circumstance.
Some circumstances, yeah, I agree with that one. Yeah,
hang on. Where's Bristol Rovers next? Where's Bristol Rovers game to the Midlands? Hang on, where's Bristol Rovers? Is Bristol Rovers playing anyone in the Midlands this season in League 2?
Walsall.
Oh, actually, I don't wish that on you. It's a dump. Never mind.
Yeah, forget that then. Right,
Never mind. See you later.
Right, goodbye, everyone.
Let's end this show. I'll see you guys next week. Take it for now. Goodbye.